guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about a film that I've now seen 3 or 4 times, and that is Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Please do not disturb Evelyn. She already is. This is a movie that had crossed my radar after becoming a Vinegar Syndrome fan. I was interested but didn't know what to expect. Um, I've since watched it, as I said, a few times, and the more I watch it, the more I notice and the more I enjoy. This movie came with two slipcovers. The original one is this one for this release, which I don't like at all. I think it's a horrible, horrible cover, poorly drawn and very silly looking. If you flip it over, you get this. I think it's the European cover, which is a little better, but not my favorite. Then there's this new one that goes along with some of the green colorings from the film, which I like. And then this is my favorite one because it's straight to the point and looks like I think this is from the VHS cover, so it has that little bit of cheese. Um, if you haven't seen Mountaintop Motel Massacre, it's a movie about this old woman, Evelyn, and her daughter living in this mountaintop motel. And they're renting out rooms, and Evelyn has a mental problem and has just gotten out of the institution. And the daughter, who is young, could probably be her granddaughter, but it's her daughter, is doing rituals in the basement. And Evelyn finds out and flips out. And this is the very beginning of the film, so I'm not really spoiling much. She kills her daughter with a sickle and I guess it's a sickle, the thing you use that's kind of like the Grim Reaper type thing at the end. And she's, gardening with it or whatever, but she's swinging it around and she kills her daughter. She then explains there was a gardening accident and gets the heat off of her a little bit once the cops arrive. And then you start seeing her just getting progressively worse throughout the film and attacking the motel guests, I should say. She's very out in space. Um, she hears these creepy voices of her dead daughter kind of egging her on to kill people and do bad things. And in the background, you see all these little drawings that the daughter Lori had done around the motel, both in the office and in the guest rooms. It's not, it's sort of like a slasher movie, but it's a slower one, a little creepier, has some really interesting music, and the characters all stand out that are the guests of the motel or the police officer, things like that. So there's a carpenter in the motel, there's a reverend who's down on his luck, there's a guy who got married, and him and his wife are now spending their honeymoon at this little rinky dink, rundown motel. Everything in the movie is very worn and run down and beaten looking. The floors look all messed up. The walls are all messed up. The siding is like cracking. So everything has that very old, worn look to it, which I think just adds to the charm and atmosphere of the film. It's definitely a slower movie. I could see it being a little creepy if perhaps you're younger and haven't watched a lot of horror films. My age, I don't really find it creepy, but I do like the vibe it puts off. It's currently on, obviously, Blu-ray. This comes with a DVD as well. I think there's an older DVD release. There's a European Blu-ray, which is region locked, and it's on Amazon Prime right now. By the time this comes out, it may not be, but you can check. Um, I think if you go into this expecting a full-blown, crazy, over-the-top slasher movie, you'll probably be let down. But if you like that sort of weird, slower, creepier B vibe with your horror movies, I think you'll like this. This is one of the better horror movies that I think Vinegar Syndrome has put out. Um, Beyond the Door 3 is probably my favorite, and Unmasked 25. Um, but this is one that I think, had I saw it when I was younger, I would have appreciated it more now. But now that I've watched it a few times, it's definitely grown on me. There's a great YouTube channel called Mountaintop. I want to say it's Mountaintop 9. I'll put his link down in the description. His name's Eric. He is really into this film. He watched it when he was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, and it meant a lot to him, and it creeped him out, and it stayed with him over the years. So to him, it is part of his childhood and part of his memories. This movie doesn't have that for me, but I still really appreciate it. and I think if you give it a chance, you will too. So let me know, guys, if you've seen Mountaintop Motel Massacre, what you think. I think it's a pretty good, slowish slasher movie with some interesting ideas, some good music, good scenery, interesting characters, and a good little ghost story in the background. Not to spoil too much, but I think that they were supposed to implement more of that in the film, but they either hadn't or they cut some of it out. I'm not sure. But it has a good story to it. So let me know, guys, what you think. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.